Mr. Porter, the IOC understands very well that this is a difficult moment for you. You know that for the IOC itself, it is a difficult choice to be made.
So 10 minutes to save their presence in the games, whilst a number of other sports were knocking on the door, screaming to be let in. Softball's strength is that it's for women only, but it also promised to reduce its costs. $117 members to convince, 3 months of lobbying, a 10-minute presentation. The Olympic future of these three sports was in the balance. But the news was good.
As you can see now, the many federation came with a lot of good proposals. They start to change the rules. They start to reduce the facilities for the games.
I think all the international federations felt that at some time they might be in the same situation, and everything should apply the same for all the federations, not just 2 or 3.
In studio with us tonight is Mike Klingensmith, a member of the International Softball Federation Task Force, which hopes to get softball reinstated to the Olympics. Mr. Klingensmith is also Executive Vice President of Time Inc. Why is it so important for the game of softball that it's part of the Olympics?
Well, I think one thing that's interesting is if you look at as recently as 1991, when softball was put into the Olympic Games for 1996 Atlanta, there were only 65 countries around the world that were playing softball. Today, there's over 130 countries that have national softball federations and have softball. So it's kind of a catch-22. The institution of softball and putting it on the international stage has led to an incredible increase in the interest in softball and participation in softball. You know, and beyond that, of course, it goes back to all those young women across the country, across the globe, who are interested in playing softball and having something to aspire to. If you were to walk into Don Porter's office at the International Softball Federation, he keeps on his desk a stack of printouts of emails from girls from all over the country, all over the world, coaches, parents, who are really disappointed, deeply disappointed that this opportunity has been taken away from these girls.
Well, it's certainly going to be an interesting journey. We hope you will keep us updated as time goes on. Thank you so much for joining us, Mike Klingensmith from Time Inc.
We have chosen a special campaign name and logo, BackSoftball. The name was chosen, BackSoftball, because in the context it is meant to show support for softball. Here we are talking about the public, the media, the worldwide softball family, and indeed the whole Olympic movement. Back is also an important word for us as we strive to get softball back on the Olympic program where we feel it belongs. So today I'm delighted to announce that BackSoftball Blueprint, this is a 10-point pledge that the ISF is making to show tangible results to the IOC membership by the time they vote on the new sports for the 2016 Olympic program at the IOC session in Copenhagen in 2009.
Two years ago, at an IOC meeting in Singapore, softball was deselected from the Olympics in 2012. The vote? 52 to 52. The game needed 53 votes to survive. So it basically came down to one vote, still being felt by softball players all over the world. Every day behind these doors, the International Softball Federation's main focus is to return the sport to the Olympics in 2016. Leave that to Don Porter, president of the ISF, in charge of repairing the damage his sport has sustained.
Myself and many, many others worked half our life to get sport into the Olympic program, and you know, to have it and lose it like we did, but you know, that gives you a wake-up call.
the International Softball Federation right here in Plant City picked me to go over and talk to President Rogue of the IOC, and I basically was the ambassador for all of softball. So that was a pretty big weight on my shoulders. And I went over there, and when I talked to President Rogue, I told him that you're shattering a lot of dreams. It's not just us on the field in the Olympics. It's the 10-year-olds, it's the 12-year-olds that have those Olympic dreams. They might never become the Olympian, but the fact that they have those dreams, that's what's important. That's really the whole ideal of the Olympics.
Don Porter, the president of the International Softball Federation, is on a mission, one very close to his heart, to get the sport he loves back into the Olympics. In 2002, as part of International Olympic Committee President Jacques Rogue's initiative to downsize what he believed had become a bloated summer games, 3 sports, baseball, softball, and modern pentathlon, were targeted for elimination. Don Porter, softball's leader, was blindsided by the news that after competing in only 2 Olympics, his sport was already on the chopping block. Porter was able to stave off the sport's death sentence, but not for long. 3 years later, President Rogue tried again, this time instituting a vote on all sports to determine whether each should be allowed to remain in the games. All that was needed for a sport to survive? A simple majority of the then 105 IOC members' votes. When the results were revealed, softball had been eliminated as an Olympic sport by a single vote.
The way that I feel about this game and how much I love what it's done to my life. There's so many young girls that haven't had that opportunity, and it breaks my heart to think that they have taken that away from so many people. And I think that's what gets to me.
My region faces many issues. In particular, there is resistance and few opportunities for women to play sports, especially team sports. Secondly, this region is never far from conflict, an ever-present threat of extremism. So when I set up my Generations of Peace projects, I was honored that the President Porter immediately offered to send softball coaches and equipment for our pilot camp last year. That was when I saw for myself the power of softball. I saw men and women of all ages, shapes and sizes playing softball together. These were leaders of youth who, as I speak, are using softball as peace-building tools back in areas of conflict in Sudan, Afghanistan, Lebanon, Palestine, Iraq and Sri Lanka. When I saw all of this, I decided the Jordan Olympic Committee should set up a softball federation, which we did in late 2007. The results are impressive. I have pledged to work with the ISF in helping to use softball in Jordan as a bridgehead to help open up women's team sports in other countries in the Middle East.
How would you like to learn all about softball?